I know I said I was going to be doing primarily stuff that I received from Lurkit today, but on the note of receiving things, we got a couple goodies for Metroid Fusion. So, specifically, we have wide beam, which does not matter that much, but it's nice to have. We got our missiles, which is the big one, is that'll allow us to open all those eye doors and everything that was getting in our way. We also got space jump, so I can actually go into that one check I was showing y'all yesterday that was across that long jump that I wasn't gonna be able to do. We can also go fetch the thing that's above the lava in Sector 1. Now, we are still specifically here in Sector 1, in the same spot we left off, because I didn't move yet. The other thing about missiles is we can beat all of those bosses, basically, that I was talking about, trying to fight and then realizing I couldn't because we didn't have missiles. So let's get that process started. Go ahead and pop that. Because I think I didn't save after I did that. Because it didn't matter. We can grab whatever is in here. First and foremost. Which was just some dirt for power wash, so, you know, incredibly important and relevant. Now, is there a secret over here, or no? It's the other way that gets you in that. Okay, that's what I thought, but I couldn't be sure. Oh yeah, it's this thing. This is gonna be trivial at this point. Take note of the fact that screw attack does not work on it. In case anybody had doubts when I said that before. This screw attack is so effective in all other capacities. Yeah, this thing is a non-issue, even under normal circumstances. And it's another job well done for power wash. I really do feel like 99.9% of my checks are useless. Right, I need to Shine Spark to get that, so that's not happening. Also, we did not even technically need to have missiles to get in to fight him, but we needed missiles to kill. So that was one of the ones where it was kind of 6 of one, half dozen the other. Now, unfortunately, we are back in this loop again, I think. Oh no, we broke in through here before, so we can actually get back out. No, this is not the one that breaks you out. Well, we can go back out the way we came in. I'm just gonna have to deal with this stupid thing. Stop shooting! Let me shoot you. Accept your fate. It's only like 3 missile hits to kill these things, something like that. Problem is, you need to be in front of it for it to open to begin with, so you kind of have to sit there in its range. Yeah, we can just go back up this way. Go out the way we came in. I was about to warp out, but I'm like, wait, no, you don't have to do that anymore. Let's see. Technically, we can go into the Torian section down there as well. Well, let's not say we did. Because that is purely a case of we can technically do that. It would be incredibly unsafe of me to do that. Now that we have a second tank, though, we can actually go dive into the lava here and go through the back path here. First, let's get this. Okay. Descending Dark for Hollow Knight. I think that's a useful ability? I don't actually know what that is. But I'm gonna just hope that that's a good thing since it had the up arrow on it. Oh wait, yeah, we can't go into the back area of 3 because we don't have level 2 locks. Right. I had that discussion with Argo yesterday when he went to go do that. Is he has his level 2 locks and I don't. It's confusing when you got 2 different people playing the same game with 2 very wildly different situations going on. Because I got excited when I saw the prompt pop up for super missiles. Turns out they weren't my super missiles. So that was a bit of a shame. We're done here in Sector 1 now. Oh, for the moment. Till we come back and do the lava run and the Taurian section and such. I think it's Taurian. I think that was the area that Mother Brain was in. Either way. That upsetting place that Mother Brain lives. That's that area down there. That one. Guess we'll top up my supplies, so I think I still had full everything from just chewing through all my enemies. Nav rooms are useless to us at this point because we touched all of them. At least all the ones I have access to. We're still gonna get cucked by door locks. That's gonna be our biggest issue. Is there anything up here I can do? Oh yeah, I can go clean all this up properly now because we have missiles so we can actually kill the X that spawns from him. Technically, we can go do reactor. But we won't be able to do all of it. We can use the side door in there now that I showed you guys yesterday. That you need to be able to jump real high to get into, because we can jump infinitely now. One would think with how many times I've played this game reasonably recently, I would have this whole layout memorized at this point, but I don't. Let's go in properly, so I can go get the check that's up there first. We're gonna end up getting one of these checks a second time, which at the end of the day won't actually matter, in case anybody's worried about that. It won't actually send the check a second time, at least it shouldn't. High jump makes these guys way less of an issue. Because ordinarily that's a reasonably tight jump to make, or you duck around it. Yeah, there's the screw attack path we used to get up here. Yeah, that's the one we're resending. It doesn't matter. This, however, might matter. Never mind, it's 30 coins for Luigi's Mansion. Let's finally kill this guy properly. After having fought him like 3 times, then glitching him out that one time for fun. This really just feels like bullying. There we go. It was just water for power wash, which is why the seed didn't care about sending me here at all, I think, is because nothing there mattered. But it still checks, so if we end up needing hints, we have more checks towards getting hints. I still have no intention of actually using them anytime soon, but having checks built up towards getting them never hurts to have. And I just want to play my seed as much as possible, you know? Okay, so till I have door locks, main deck is dead to me now. Aside from being an access to the reactor. Which... do I want to go to Sector 2 from the front side or the back side? Because if I go in through the reactor, it'll take me in through that M spot over there on the right. which will get me to one thing, though we can get there from the front at this point anyway. Because we can space jump now. Which we can also technically get those things on the left there in Sector 2 as well. For anybody that's worried that we're going to be playing this for a long time and not getting to any of the other stuff I'm planning, by the way, don't worry. We are going to run out of checks in probably the next, like, 20 or 30 minutes, not even. But some of these checks could be important for someone, so I'm making sure to get them done. And I didn't want you guys to miss anything if I could help it. There's going to be things you're going to miss because I'll probably end up making some progress in some of my games tomorrow when I won't be streaming. So you'll miss some progress then. I will ideally, at a minimum, show off the final parts of each of the seeds. But even then, if something ends up happening that causes that not to happen, it be what it be. But my intention is to at least show the finales of the seeds. Swing down here, I should be able to get the things that are behind the floaty boys over here now. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. This is a very, very precise space jump to squeeze through here with. Nope, I can't do it. I can't regain control fast enough. It's very tricky to do. And Samus falls through those instantly with no control. So I think those two checks are still going to be dead in the water, and considering that one doesn't have an up arrow, and neither does that, I'm not going to sit here and fight with it. Because that presumably means neither of those are important. So we're just gonna stop worrying about those. Could I have padded time out by fighting with that and trying? Absolutely. But we're not really here to pad time. Oh yeah, I could have gotten in here yesterday, actually. So the entire pathway from reactor doesn't matter, actually. I forgot this was just open. Silly me. The ice trap pile continues. Yeah, you need to drop through here to get to this particular spot. I forget which fight this is. Oh wait, no, I think this is the jumpy guy. Which I think he's the one you get high jump from. Ordinarily. This guy's gonna take me a minute to kill. Because I don't think Screw Attack works on him. No, you can't hit him from the exterior. You gotta hit him from the interior. So you gotta wait for him to jump over you. And then you just power or throw him with a bunch of missiles. You'll notice he's already shrunk a decent bit. Down to his last segment. He's gonna get real fast now, which is gonna be annoying. And there we go. He's not really an issue anymore. Like, your first time fighting him, he'll probably be a problem. Just because getting those shots into the interior there is a little precise. But he's mostly just a real goddamn nuisance. Oh wow, that was actually something for me. It's a shame it was just powerbomb capacity, but you know, that's still something. Now we can go fetch everything but that, because we don't have speed booster, but let's remember, that's an up arrow. That's gonna be important. That's power bombs for me, so that doesn't matter. We already have 18 of them, which is probably more than I'll ever need. The checks over here are actually dead in the water, because they both need speed booster and I don't have it. Because this is the one that's at the top of the room. You gotta, basically you gotta speed booster through the whole room for the most part. Or do what I'm probably going to do, which is fly over most of it and then speed booster the last section. We can, I think, go get the item that's circled in green over there. We can go fight the other boss. We can definitely go get those 2 checks up at the top in the pink zone. Those were the ones I was talking about before. Forget. Sector 4. Is there a door in the way there? No, that was the underwater bit. And I'm pretty sure space jump doesn't work underwater until you have gravity suits. I think we're SOL on that idea. Barring a situation where I suddenly change color as I'm running along, and I just suddenly get gravity suit. Oh, and a poll went up today for anyone that follows either the Twitter or the Blue Sky accounts to determine whether we do Dark Cloud 2 or Breath of Fire on Monday. So, if you have a horse in that race, you may want to make your decision known. Oh wait, I did get this, I think, and it just wasn't relevant, so I ended up warping at some point and losing that. Well, never mind. So I guess the only play left is to go all the way back up top, and then go pop those 2 checks, and I think that's genuinely gonna be it for Fusion again. Which remains very sad, but you know what? That's just how it be. Well, actually, I should probably go pop that boss, too. Just to be on the safe side. Because for all I know, that might be progress for somebody. I don't know why I'm bothering to do the regular jumps there, since we can literally just jump wherever we please, but, you know. And as far as I'm aware, by the way, Wide Beam has no practical functions in terms of progression. All it does is make our beam a little bit better, both by making it, well, as it says on the tin, wider, and by allowing me to hit targets that are not in a direct line. I think we have to defeat the tree in order to get in there. Or it's on that speed boost block there. One of the two. We might actually lose the tree fight, because I kind of suck at fighting the tree. And I'm willing to bet Screw Attack's not going to work on him. I was going to say, there's no way I'm getting a generous just 3 blanks immediately. Ain't no way. Yeah, no, see? Screw Attack just doesn't work on him. You gotta missile him. Thankfully, we have enough missiles that I can just kind of pound him. The biggest problem is going to be whether I die before he does or not. Because there's not any real room to move in this fight. This is why I'll die here, because I'm impatient, and I don't want to sit there and... Oh, wait, I can screw attack them away. I'm a silly man. Oh, I'm out of missiles. Oh, that's bad. Power bombs work on you? Okay, power bombs work, so I could just kind of power bomb him to death, I guess. Means actually I can chill over here and just shoot these away from me. Assuming I have enough power bombs to finish the job. This may end up being very sad. I can't believe that wasn't enough missiles. I think I may have been spamming too fast and a bunch of them weren't counting. Because that is a thing that can happen. Yeah, now the lower plants fire, and that's where it becomes a problem. Because you basically are going to have to sit there and jump over his shots over and over. Ordinarily, I want to say you have... at least 2 more energy tanks by now to fight that guy. Because you may have noticed that each of those little spores were taking off like half a tank. Now, I don't think... No, you don't have any suits by now. Because you don't get Varia till later. Like, fairly late on the scale of things. And you get gravity after this as well. So you wouldn't have any defense. Let's go do those 2 checks up top before I try fighting him again. Maybe we'll get lucky and one of them will be an energy tank for me. To make up for my scrub tier ability to fight that guy. And we can't go back up this way for those that are wondering. Once we remove the plant life, that might do a couple things for us. Yeah, because this is ordinarily meant to trap you in while the SAX is chasing you. This is the bit you do after fighting the tree, basically. I could have swore there was a check in this room, but... Oh wait, no. This is another one of those, you run away from the SAX, you jump over the wall, all to hide situations. If I want to... Yeah, I can just go back up this way. Either way, it'll be fine. I'm not going to keep sending that satisfaction over and over again. We will just ignore that check. Because we all know that it's not useful. If you think I'm stalling so that this rounds out to a nicer amount of time, you would be mostly correct, but also the simple fact of trying to at least get all the things done. Let's see, yeah, this is the right way. But yeah, by killing the other bosses that we've killed, that's what activated these shells, by the way. Maybe these 2 checks over here will be something productive. This room is also really annoying. This is another one of those situations where you can't actually escape. Oh yeah, no, this is a one-way. So you have to do the whole leap across. Basically, you're playing Samus Flappy Bird over here. That's a recoverable one, at least. Empire Orb for myself. Empire Orb might be one of the ones that gets us into the correct part of the castle. Also, oh right, I needed to go the other way. I need to do that whole bit again. I forgot you need to actually drop down in the gap there. Doing this with an A button that's sometimes flaking out on you, by the way, it's an experience. Case in point there, I was hitting A and nothing was happening. And it wasn't worth it. Great. The Empire Orb might be worth it, but we won't worry about that right now. Because if that is the one that gets us into the Royal Tower, that only gets us a couple checks. It's not a big deal. All it'll be is the fight against the princess and a item or two that's behind her. So I'm not gonna worry about doing that tonight. So I think I'm gonna try to fight the tree at least one more time, and then we'll go on to doing the lurkit games. I basically earmarked out an hour of time for this. Both in case new things popped up, and in case I actually came up with an idea for a way to do more. A quick scroll of the tracker just in case. Okay, yeah, the Descending Dark thing I sent does count as progression, so that'll hopefully be meaningful. Though Dyla had just gotten done playing Hollow Knight not too long ago, so might not get back to that quite yet. Really depends on how important that is, I would assume. So let's hit up that save point that's not too far from here before we go fight the tree again. Minimize the run back. So hopefully we won't need to do any more run backs. What I'll probably do is I'll start the fight with the power bombs, so I can save the missiles for fighting the second part. Now, fun fact, more often than not, I end up having to do that fight with Charge Beam. Well, have to is a strong word. I end up having to at least do some charge shots into it, though, because I run out of missiles most of the time when I fight him. But I thought I had less missiles than this, usually, by that point. Like I thought I usually had only like 50 or 60 missiles for this fight. Great start. Oh, these plants suck so much. I am so bad at dealing with these constant attack fights. Especially since I forgot that you end up sliding toward the plants if you're not standing perfectly centered between them. Like, this fight is huge on two things: patience and positioning. And one of those two is one of my greatest weaknesses, as we've discussed on a regular basis. Which is why this is one of my worst fights in this game. The only one that I have a harder time with usually is Nightmare. Nightmare, well, is a nightmare. I remember having a much easier time with him when we did the most recent run, but that was an aberration. And it'll depend very heavily when we get to Nightmare on how well I remember what I did to beat Nightmare better that time compared to usual. when I'm doing the rando, I ordinarily hope that I get super missiles before I have to deal with this jerk. Just so that, you know, it's a bit easier to kill him, because he will die significantly fast with super missiles, as you might imagine. But we already broke his limbs off, so his head might pop soon. That's my last power bomb. This wide beam is such a blessing. I need to stop having my shots get blocked. You see why this fight's a problem for me, I'm sure by now. And I think I might actually have to wait for more missiles. I really didn't think there was going to be too much that I was going to need more missiles for, but that fight is taking all of my power bombs and still looking like I'm going to be real tight on missiles based on how many I fired into him without anything changing. And thinking about it, I don't know if I can do the spider boss either with the amount of missiles we have. I could go try. And since we're literally at a save point, I'm just gonna save time by warping to start, just to get back over here faster. And it'll get us our 1 power bomb back. No, I don't need to confirm mission objectives. I guess I could show off the back entry into Sector 2 just for sake of argument. Does he just break through here, as I showed off yesterday? And you just gotta tunnel through all the junk in the way here. There you go, you're back in Sector 2. Unless you want us to stay here, don't fall down that hole. You'll notice it leads to what is visibly a dead end, but isn't one, obviously. But there's no checks in there, so we're not going to worry about actually going there. That would have just been the solution if I didn't have the ability to space jump to get into Sector 2 properly. Admittedly, space jump's kind of the only way I get in there to begin with, but that's neither here nor there. Because technically you can bomb jump up into there if you're really good at bomb jumping, probably. I say probably because I've not really done it myself. The weirdest way I've ever gotten in there was I froze some flyers and jumped into there for that way. More water for power wash, great. There's still another check over here that might end up being worth. Yeah, this is why this area is dangerous, is it's not only got lots of pirates in it, but those flyers, like we've talked about before, hit really hard. Well, that's good. Not game-changing, I don't think, unless Amma is one of the ones who didn't have a wallet at all yet. Then that might actually be game-changing. I'm pretty sure you're invincible while screw attacking as well, which is why we didn't get hit by a couple of those lasers from the tree. But unfortunately, I just don't have the timing down for screw attacking through everything under the sun. And with what we're dealing with here, I would have to do a lot of screw attack dodging. given the choice between doing that or not doing that right now, I'm not gonna do that right now. Oh yeah, technically I can bypass this boss fight entirely by doing this. But we already knew that this was just a recovery heart. But in terms of plot progression, that's still actually useful to done. I think the entry is over here, isn't it? To the save room. It is. Because what I'll do is I'll save here, so that when we die to the spider boss, we don't have to worry about it. What we've done will still have been saved. Big spider spits fire. Yep. His whole shtick is grabbing you and slamming you into the floor for the most part. You can break free before he gets the slam off at least. You'll notice even if you're in Morph Ball form in a corner, if he happens to head in that direction, you're just SOL. Like, this guy just sucks. His fight is miserable. Like, I don't count him as one of the ones I do worst against, because this fight is just awful, in my opinion, to deal with. Like, somebody out there may say, like, oh yeah, it's a good, challenging fight. It's like, no, I cannot in good conscience agree with that statement. Because he's 110% a nuisance fight. Like, if you get him down, he's a joke. And that's kind of why I'm like, this just isn't good. I'm a firm believer of, if a fight sucks until you get it down and then he's just completely inert once you do get it down, then that's not well designed. He also takes a lot of punishment. Fuck's sake. I hope you enjoy waiting as well, because he definitely makes you wait. Because he does a few passes every time before opening up to be hit. And I'm pretty sure we don't have enough missiles to kill him. Like, if I don't have enough missiles to kill the tree, I'm like 90% sure we don't have enough missiles for this guy. But as you can see, half the fight is just running to the corners and morph balling up and waiting. You know, great, exciting gameplay. There is a second part to this fight, which that part's a little more interesting, even if it's kind of annoying too. And like, I'll grant there's a skill element to at least breaking free from him if he does grab you. There we go, he's changing color. I fucked up though, because I'm now in an awkward spot. I think the fire will be gone. But I'm out of position for actually getting hits off. I don't think regular shots can't hurt him. There's so many things in this game that regular shots are useless against. Fuck that one up. Hey Callista, how's it going? Welcome to Spider Hell, population me. Oh, come on. I forgot about that part. Okay, he's now in jumping mode. Which, screw attack doesn't work against that mode either. Okay, that's great. So yeah, he just starts spitting junk and bouncing around. That's his whole second phase. And then, obviously, there's gonna be a third phase where he's just the X-Parasite flying around. which is also going to take more missiles, but the good news about that is that at the very least it'll give you green X in that phase, so you can make the missiles back. Based on the amount of missiles I had left there, that might actually be doable. It's just going to be really tight. So I think that's another one that'll file under I'll wait for more missiles, unless somebody gets a hint saying that they need the item from that fight. Because I don't think his fight triggers anything. The tree fight's more important than he is in terms of plot triggers, and that's already been made irrelevant anyway, because we've already gone around the areas where the tree blocks. So that's irrelevant in terms of plot triggers. We straight up can't even go into Sector 3 because the gate blocks us from getting into there in the first place. Ditto with Sector 4. And as soon as we touch water, our space jump stops working. Yeah, we are back to being dead in the water. I've done what checks I can do. It's time to go do what I said I was going to do and play some games given to me by Lurkit. But, like I said, at least we got some more stuff done. So this is going to take me a second to get everything adjusted and ready to go. I'm not going to be keeping Fusion itself open, but I'll probably keep the listing open. Just so that I can keep an eye on what checks are getting sent around in case anything big happens. That makes the most sense to me. Just taking a quick look over the list to make sure that nothing incredible has popped. Or anything else? No, none of my other games got anything. It's mostly just been junk items getting sent around. And I guess I could just leave Fusion open just so Archipelago doesn't freak out. I'll just mute it, leave it over in the corner. Because sometimes if you only have the text client open when you have it connected to something, it gets a little flaky. But let me go ahead and get categories changed. All of that. Time for Scopia 83. Get the whole title changed over as well to make sure that people know what they're getting into coming over here. There may be a little bit of audio balancing that may have to happen here because I did not have time to fully test the audio for this. But the audio was sounding fine in my head when I was testing the game, because obviously my first priority is making sure the game will run. Especially in the case of something like this.